So what's up, you guys? So in my last video that I made, I explained how the lowering kit felt while having it on for a few months. And I drive about 300 miles a week for work. That to and from, that's 5 days. So I put some miles on the kit. I've let it settle. It did okay. So if you want to see how that rides, that's fine. You can check that video out. If you don't, that's cool too. The kit in question is the Beltec 1100 SP Sam Paul lowering kit for the 2019 and up GMC Canyon and Chevy Colorados. Two-wheel drives. I don't know if it fits four-wheel drives, so you have to ask them. But I did mention in that video and previous videos that I was going to lift my truck at some point. That I was going to put it back to stock and then lift it from there. So I've been putting it off just because the weather around here in Georgia hasn't been the best. One day it's really cold, the next day it's kind of warm, and then the days that it's really nice and warm and pretty outside, I have to work that night, so I can't do it because I just don't have the time, and I sleep during the day. So I just figured, well, I'm off on Thursdays and Fridays, so this past Thursday, I went ahead and just got all my stuff that I needed with the list that I have of the tools that I've made a video about also to uninstall the kit. And I went ahead and put everything back on to how it was originally from the factory, aside from my leveling kit. I do have the Rough Country 2-inch leveling kit back on it. I do have a video about that, or a review. I didn't put an install on it or nothing like that. I didn't do a video about it. So, but the truck is back to factory height. The rear is factory. The front is with the factory coil springs, factory struts, everything, with the Rough Country 2-inch leveling kit. You're not going to be able to see the leveling kit from under here, but everything's been put back together. There's no parts missing. Everything is accounted for. I did have trouble with the struts. I hate struts. I cannot stand them. They get on my nerves. I hate using the spring compressor. And yes, my truck is dirty. I know that. I did take it on a dirt road after I got done, just to make sure I didn't hear anything that was abnormal, and just to make sure everything was tight, because a dirt road is probably the best way to figure that out, because you'll hear stuff rattle and move around because it'll be uneven and bumpy. Since I haven't done it yet, I will make 2 more videos. I've done a review on the light bar. I haven't actually shown it being used at night, so I will do one of those. I just have it off just to look at it, make sure there's nothing wrong with it, because the cover that Rough Country gives you for it, which is this right here, I keep it on there. I just wanted to make sure there's no moisture starting to form inside or anything like that. But I keep the cover on it so that way rocks don't hit it or anything like that, and because I don't use it constantly. So but the truck is back to how it was, and I will make another video about how to remove the valence or the lower air dam. I don't have it on the truck anymore. If you look at my last video, you'll see it. I removed it when I first got the truck, like a week or 2 after, just so it looked a lot taller. It still looks taller than it is. Like I said, it's 2 inches. It's I think about 1.5 inch plastic puck that goes on top of the strut, and then there's another 1/2 inch ring that goes on the spring cup that the spring actually sits in on the strut. So you have to disassemble the strut for that kit. But like I said, it does look taller than it really is. It's only 2 inches. Factory tires, factory wheels. There's no spacers. As you can see, there's no spacers on the inside of my wheels. There's nothing like that. Nothing's done with the rear. The rear is factory shocks, factory leaf springs, factory leaf spring hangers, shackles, everything. There's no lift back here whatsoever. So that's the factory height from when it was brand new in June when I bought the truck. So now I am going to leave my Beltec sticker on there, but yeah, so some things that are going to change. There are some things to think about when you want to lift a vehicle like this. My truck is 2-wheel drive, so I have a bunch of different options. I can lift the truck with a spindle lift, which literally only changes the spindle, which is this piece right here that the wheel and everything is connected to. Or I could do a complete lift, which has stuff for the rear and the front, and it has new struts. The lift struts has new knuckles, has new cross members for the front, and some other stuff. I'm not going to go with the full lift that uses cross members, because in order to use aftermarket cross members for like Rough Country or Zone or whoever else, you have to cut the factories. So once you cut the factory ones, you cannot go back to stock. Like, I can't go back to how I am right now, or if I want to lower the truck, I can't go back to being lower. So you need to think about that kind of stuff before you start cutting with the 4-inch spindles that MaxTrack makes. All you need to do is literally replace the spindle and the brake lines, because the brake lines are going to be longer, because they need to be longer, so that way you have enough extra travel for when the suspension cycles. And then the rear, all you do is put a spacer in between the leaf spring and the axle, and you're good to go. I don't recommend combining lift kits. So right now, like I've said, I have the 2-inch leveling kit. It's not a good idea to stack lifts on top of each other. Don't put this lift or this leveling kit with the 2-inch spindles. Yes, that'll be 6 inches of lift, but don't do that. Do it the right way. They make a 6-inch lift for these trucks that is a spindle lift, but I don't want to go that high. I think 4 inches is just enough. I do want some bigger wheels and tires and stuff like that, obviously. I will have to put steps on it because I am short, so I will have to kind of jump to get in it. But I will be doing that. I won't be doing an install video on those either, just because I don't have a way to hold the video camera or hold the phone and do the work. So I'm not going to do that. I will show you a before and after, and anything that I would need to tell you guys that's pertinent, like that's very important. The brake lines and stuff, I really don't want to fuck with brake lines because this is a sealed system from the factory. I don't want to open it up because the brakes feel fine, and I don't like bleeding brakes. Sorry, I obviously can't speak English today. So that's another thing. They make a 3.5-inch lift for these trucks. I know Ready Lift makes one. I know Eibach makes one. That's all I can think of that makes a lift that small. And it comes with new upper control arms and some other stuff, new strut. Because I have, and what doesn't make it sense to me is I looked at the Ready Lift suspension lift, and it doesn't come with anything special. I bought these from Amazon. These are supposed to fit these trucks. They do fit, but you don't have enough spring left to compress the coil enough to actually get that on the truck. Because I tried to do the passenger side to get it to work, and it would not work. So that kit that I bought is useless. So that's why I have the Rough Country back on here instead. But I mean, that's what the truck looks like. It's 3 inches or 2 inches up front, factory in the rear. I think that the front still does sit a little lower than the rear. So, you know, if you want to go a little bit higher, you can. But I do plan on putting bigger wheels and tires on this. And I will buy another vehicle too, so this truck won't get driven very much after that happens. So it'll probably sit either right where it's parked now, just facing that way, or it'll sit right there. And I'll drive it when I need to. But I want to get new headlights, new tail lights. I want to get the tint redone. So the back factory glass, the back glass has factory tint. I'm going to get 5% put on top of that, and then I'm going to take the 15% off on the front and replace that with 5%. And I'll probably get my strip lowered a little bit more. And like I said, new headlights. I will get fog lights added, so that way I have them, because I do want some, because I think it looks better. I will get some ditch lights. I'll be putting a lot more LEDs on the truck, just so I can see better if I go out on a back road and stuff like that. The tonneau cover will stay. I will be getting the bed Line-X'd at some point. That'll probably be after I get my taxes, just because I know that that'll be disposable income. There's really nothing else, because I've already got LED reverse lights. I just need to get new tail lights because I just don't like these. These look plain. And I won't be getting rid of my factory headlights and tail lights. They will stay in my building behind the house, so that way if I need them, I can put them back on. And for those that don't know, in order to replace the headlights on these trucks, the housings, you have to remove the bumper and all that shit, which is fucking stupid, but that's what I had to do to put those bumper brackets on for the light bar. So it is what it is. No big deal. But yeah. So I will be putting some rock lights on it just so it looks a little bit better. Nothing crazy. I won't be putting wheel lights on it because that's just stupid and extra. I think rock lights are just fine. That's all I need. It's not a show truck, so let people have their opinions about those, and I don't care what your opinion is. So there you guys go. If you like the video, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. So if you have any questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Other than that, that's all I've got for you guys today. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.